Welcome to another episode of Dilemma. Webster's definition of dilemma: a situation in which a difficult choice must be made between two or more alternatives. This show hopes to present current hot topics and provide information for your contemplation. Today's topic is the Green Center and urine diversion. Our waters on Cape Cod, the bays, rivers, and ponds are polluted and continue to be polluted, which impacts our total lifestyle here on Cape. Our dilemma is whether or not we turn this situation around to ensure a future for Cape Cod, those of us who live here, and those who come to visit this unique piece of paradise. Is there only one way to accomplish this with a high price tag? For the very first time, Dilemma will go on the road to visit the Green Center in East Falmouth and meet Earle Barnhart and Hilda Maingay, owners of what I call a self-sufficient home, and the founders of the Green Center, a nonprofit organization which can accept donations that are tax deductible. There is so much more to see and learn from this sanctuary, from their methods to their harvest. If you have a passion for sustainable living, I suggest you go and take a tour. It's phenomenal. And with that said, let's go. How gorgeous. Good morning, Hilda, Earle. How are you?
Sharon,
Hey, hello.
good to see you. Thanks for coming.
No,
Wow,
thank
having
you
you.
for having Dilemma into your home. And for your information, this is our very first road trip.
We are honored.
Great.
Thank you so much.
You're
so
welcome.
Exciting.
You're welcome. Today, our title is Urine Diversion, an affordable way to reduce water pollution, save water, and grow food. I think we should start with a little bit of background about both of you. So, ladies first.
Okay, so I'm Hilda Maingay. I was born in Indonesia, and after the war, we were rescued by the Americans. We finally ended up in Holland. So I got my education in Holland, and then as an adult, I immigrated to the United States. I have 3 boys, and I have a master's degree in environmental science education.
Wow. Earle?
I'm Earle Barnhart. I grew up on a farm in Ohio. I went to college and studied ecology and marine biology, and my specialty was designing ecological communities. And when I left college, I came here to the Cape, where there was an institute, New Alchemy Institute, which was designing sustainable communities. So I came here to work with them. I worked with them while they were here, and then we later moved to this property and built an ecological house on our property.
Yeah, and it used all the research that we had learned from our work to apply that at our house. So I already worked there and Earle was the second staff member, beside the people that actually started New Alchemy.
Interesting. And how long have you been here?
I came here in 1972 to work on the research, but we moved our house, built our house here in 1999.
So what, about 25 years
Yes.
here?
26, yeah. Yep.
All right. It seems to me that everything centers around one appliance called an eco toilet. So can you tell the audience a little bit about it?
When we built this house, we put a composting toilet in because we knew we wanted to save water, and composting toilets are waterless. We used an early version of a composting toilet till 2014, and then we began to test a newer, better one, which we now have, and it's a urine diverting composting toilet, and it will divert and recycle all the nutrients from the waste.
Yeah, and that's different than what's happening right now. Right now, we waste all our quote waste, human waste, and that is unsustainable. So we wanted to know right when we built this house that we would never contribute to any pollution in our water.
What are the main contributing nutrients from a human that pollute?
It's nitrogen and phosphorus. When we eat, the food we eat has been grown on a farm that uses nitrogen and phosphorus to grow the food.
And don't the farmers need that to grow healthy
Absolutely.
plants?
They put it on every year.
Every
Okay.
year, without it, we would not have any food.
And right now, we don't make a lot of fertilizer here in the United States. We make some, all right, and some, of course, we import. We'll get more into that a little later. Okay.
So, what we eat, we excrete. People think that our waste has nothing in it, but it has exactly the same nutrients in it that we ate. We use a tiny bit. Our body takes what it needs, maybe 2%. Everything else is excreted. And so the same nutrients that you buy from the store end up in your waste. And then it has to be treated. And we wanted to avoid that. We wanted to reuse it like in nature. Everything gets recycled. Nothing goes to waste. And we wanted to mimic that.
In a normal home, people put all the nutrients from their waste into a flush toilet with a lot of water, and it goes down into the groundwater, or it goes to a sewer and then into the groundwater.
So then those nutrients which we excrete are being washed away. That's why you use a term, they're not renewable.
Yes, all the food from all the people who put their nutrients into the groundwater slowly moves to the ocean, and the nutrients end up in the ocean. So all the food from the farmers end up, and the nutrients and the fertilizers they use to grow your food ends up in the ocean and is not recycled back to the farmer.
So
And-
then
and-
we
and-
need to start over, make more fertilizer.
Right, and the nitrogen is made with natural gas, which of course contribute to climate change. And the phosphorus is mined. And anything that's mined is non-renewable. If it's mined, once the mine is empty, we don't have any more. And phosphorus is one of those minerals that is very short supply. Only a few places in the world have it. And we're running out. So some countries will not sell any anymore, and we are running out, so we have to import it.
Okay, so then if we can recycle it, we're ahead of the game.
Yes.
Yes, if we can recover and recycle the waste nutrients and make it into fertilizer that's safe and given back to a farmer, you can recycle all those nutrients back to food.
And if you
Wonderful.
put it in water, then it gets lost.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about water, because I never really thought about how much water I use in flushing the toilet. So can you explain that to us?
Yes, if you flush a toilet, it uses a lot of water to flush a tiny bit of waste. And for urine, an average person flushes about 4,000 gallons of water
A year?
a year to flush their urine, which is only 120 gallons per person per year.
So to flush 120 gallons of urine per person, I use how much water?
4,000 gallons.
gallons of water.
It's about a third of all the water you use in your house and that you buy for your house.
Wow.
And then
Now, how does the eco toilet save water?
it doesn't use any water.
There are fixtures for bathrooms that are urine diverting, and the urine is diverted out as a pipe to a storage tank. It doesn't go into a septic tank. It doesn't go into a flush toilet. It doesn't go into the groundwater. It goes to a storage tank, which can be pumped out and taken away by a company and made into fertilizer.
Yeah, and urine is liquid, so it's very easy. It can just pipe anywhere. So it's not a difficult thing to do at all.
Okay, can you give me a cost as to, right now in my town, we're converting septic tanks systems to a sewer. So if we compared the eco toilet sewer system and then an IA system. And if you would explain to the audience what an IA system is, let's compare the costs.
Okay. If a town wants to remove nitrogen from groundwater, they have two options that they usually take. One is to build a sewer, and the wastewater goes to the sewer. It costs $300 to $400 for every pound of nitrogen that sewer gases off into the air to get rid of it. A person makes 8 pounds of nitrogen in a year.
Up to 14 for some people.
Average person makes 8 pounds of nitrogen in a year. So it can cost $2,400 per year for a sewer or a town to recover the nitrogen from the wastewater and dispose of it. There's a second option that that towns use, and it's called an innovative alternative septic system. And in a normal home, you have the house and a flush toilet, and you have a septic system, and the water passes through the septic system, a septic tank, and goes into a leach field and into the ground. The IA septic system is a second septic tank, which they put after the first one, and the wastewater goes into it. Some of the nitrogen is gassed off into the air, and the water keeps going into the leach field and into the ground.
But nothing else gets removed. I just want to make that clear. Neither the sewer nor the IA systems, septic systems, remove anything but most of the nitrogen. Not all the nitrogen, a lot of it, as much as they can. And nothing else gets removed, not the phosphorus, not any of the minerals, not the contaminants, not the toxic materials, nothing gets removed.
All right, so then we're also not saving the nutrients. We're not allowing them to be
Correct.
reused.
Right. Well, an IA septic system costs per pound of nitrogen removed either equal to a sewer or more. It varies. The third option, which is the one we are interested in, is urine diversion, which the nitrogen in the urine from a home never goes into the ground. It's diverted, transported away from the watershed, and it doesn't cause a problem in the groundwater or pollute any groundwater.
Yeah, so it goes from the toilet to a tank. Somebody comes and pumps it out, which exists right now. It's going on right now. That company will pasteurize the urine, which costs only $1.20 per person per year to pasteurize all the urine.
It makes it safe to use.
It's safe to use. And from the pasteurization, then they make a fertilizer, which is already happening right now and approved in Massachusetts. So that whole technology already exists.
And I think I heard that this was being used, is it Vermont? What other states?
Yes. Vermont has been collecting urine for at least 10 years. That's an organization called the Rich Earth Institute. They do all the research related to urine diversion. They work with several universities, so any research that is needed, like how to make a pasteurizer, that's what they do. They now concentrate the urine so it's easier to transport long distances. That's what they do. So they have been collecting urine and giving it to farmers. And the farmers, there are more farmers that want the urine than they have urine. So there's a demand for urine right now in Vermont. And Paris, they are now remodeling whole apartment buildings with urine diversion, and they're using the urine for parks, for their park services, because instead of chemical fertilizers. There's also a company called Tupi, and they make fertilizer from urine and give it to farmers. And they are really big. They have huge containers in warehouses, and they have a bacteria that makes it pathogen-free and makes it even better. And then they give it to the farmers.
Now, are they located in Europe or here in the
Yeah,
States?
France.
In Europe, okay.
Yeah.
So it's my understanding Europe is ahead of us in using the eco-toilets and really embracing this new technology.
Yes, urine diversion has been used in Northern Europe for 20 or 30 years. They have special urine diverting toilet fixtures that are routinely used in Europe. The United States do not use any of them.
Okay, all right.
Would you like some water?
You know what I'd like to do before that? Come back to water later, because I am very, very anxious to see this toilet. Could we see it?
Yes, and
Sure.
there's one thing that we forgot to mention. Nitrogen in our wastewater comes a lot from urine. Actually, 80% of all the nitrogen that is in our wastewater and ends up in the sewer plant or a septic tank comes from urine. But urine is only 1% of the volume. So if we can take that 1% out, we can remove 80% of the nitrogen, and we might never need anything more, because then we don't pollute to the degree we are polluting right now, which is an excess of nitrogen. You can always get some nitrogen into the groundwater, and it won't affect the algae grow that makes the ponds and the estuary have all their algae problems. But if you take 80% out, we're all set. And it's only 1% of the volume. So we want to make sure that that got mentioned.
Excellent, excellent. Wonderful news for ponds.
Oh, yeah.
All right, may we see the toilet?
Yes, let's go.
Wow, I'm impressed. It's compact, modern design, looks like totally easy to clean on the outside, and no pipes. Earle, would you please explain how it works?
Yes, this is a composting urine diverting toilet made in Sweden by a company that specializes in urine diverting toilets. And we installed this toilet in 2014. We've had it for 11 years. The urine is diverted out a little bowl in the front, goes to a storage tank. The solid waste goes straight down a tube into a composting bin in the basement. And it is waterless. There's no water involved in the toilet, using the toilet.
Could we lift the lid?
Yep. There's a bowl in the front where the urine goes, and there's a tube in the back. And when you sit on the toilet, the little screen goes aside, and when you stand up, it goes back.
So by sitting down, that activates, opens.
Yes.
You know what amazes me? The toilet must also be artificial intelligence, because the solids go one place and the liquid goes the other.
Yeah, it's been designed over many, many years to be to do that.
To follow the body. Basically, they just figured out what the body looks like and where it should go. So,
Wow.
And it's been foolproof.
Impressive. You know, you have a window, but I don't see a fan in here.
This toilet has a fan in the basement which pulls air constantly down into the toilet, passes through the compost, and is exhausted out a chimney in the top of the house. So any air or odors in the bathroom are taken away immediately. And if you take a shower and you have steam from the shower, that goes also down with the fan into the toilet. So it keeps the air in the bathroom completely fresh all the time.
Yeah, and the nice thing also is that since there's no water, there's no splashing. So it's much more hygienic than a regular toilet. A regular toilet, when it has water, it splashes. When the guys pee in it, it splashes everywhere. Outside the toilet, and it also, when you flush the toilet, nanoparticles go in the air and settle into the air and finally fall down on any surface up to 6 feet away. And it's very unhygienic. This one doesn't have anything, so it's much more hygienic than a regular toilet. And it has no sound from flushing, it has no sound from
when you use
using
it.
I should mention, men sit down to use this toilet.
And that is a real advantage to those who have to clean the toilet.
Yes.
Because-
I was just going to ask Earle that question. Who cleans the toilet, Earle?
Woo! Well, thank goodness there's no cleaning involved.
You're kidding.
Because the solids go right in a tube in a container, so there's never any solids anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to clean this a little bit, you just do a little spritz of vinegar and you're done. And if you want to shine it up, you can take a paper towel and shine it up and put the paper towel in there.
And the paper towel will decompose with the solids.
Yeah, tissue paper, paper towels can all go in there.
I'm
It's
impressed.
so nice. And it's so nice to have a quiet, odorless bathroom.
Yes, there is absolutely no
No,
odor in
ever.
here whatsoever, and it also takes care of the steam from the shower and press. Now,
Yes.
what is that?
A few years ago, the Rich Earth Institute in Vermont, who does research on urine, invented this fixture, and it's a unisex portable urinal called a cubie. And it's a cubical container with a funnel on the top. And men and women can use it, and the urine goes down and past the ball, and a ball keeps the odor from coming up. And since we've learned that these are possible to use, we now use this urine cubie urinal instead of the urine diversion portion of the sit-down toilet, because it's quicker and it's more convenient, and men prefer to stand up and use urinals than sit down.
Plus, it's portable and you are collecting the urine.
Yes, Rich Earth Institute also did research that showed that if you had urine from a home, you could collect it in these cubies and immediately take it out into your landscape and use it as fertilizer.
Okay.
Yeah, because the pathogens that people are exposed to in the house are more than the pathogens that you ever can excrete and put on the land outside. We also got approval from the Board of Health in Falmouth to use these, collect it in containers above the ground and have it pumped out if people don't want to use it on their own landscape. So that's all approved. And this is the first time that in a very inexpensive way we can collect the urine from men and women. And we did a program with Green Center for 2 months with 41 households, 62 people collecting and determining how much nitrogen and how much phosphorus they were able to collect. And that study is available for anybody interested.
Wonderful. Now what I'd like to see is the collection on the lower level. Can we do that?
Sure, yes.
Sure.
This way.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's go.
This way.
Wow. Nice compact utility room. What is that over there on the wall?
Over there, the solar electricity from our solar panels comes in and either is used in our house or the excess is sold to the power company and they pay us for it.
We get a monthly bill, not a bill. We have no bill. We don't pay anything for our electricity. We get paid every month, on average about $100 a month.
I think I'm envious. Now, what is all of this, Earle?
Our composting toilet in our bathroom that we just looked at is up here. And the solid material from the composter goes down a tube into this composting bin, and over a period of about a year, it fills up for 2 people. When it's full, you switch it out for an empty one. You put the empty one here, and the full one you attach to an air line, and it composts slowly for 2 years. And during that 2 years, all the pathogens in it die because of time. And the compost is reduced down in volume to about 1/3 of the volume it started. And then you can take it out and safely recycle it or use it as fertilizer.
And the fan that's hooked up here is the same fan that also is used for the toilets for both apartments. So you want to show that, Earle, right there?
Yes, there's a fan in the corner that pulls air down through the toilet in the bathroom, through the compost, and is taken out a pipe and is sent up a chimney off the top of the house and is exhausted from the top of the house. Our house has a 2nd floor with a 2nd toilet, exactly like the one you saw, and this is the bin for the 2nd floor.
And there is absolutely no odor here. None in the bathroom upstairs and none down here.
Now, because it's a urine diverting toilet, the urine from the urine bowl of the toilet in the bathroom is diverted out a small pipe, a white pipe, and it goes over, in our case, into a storage container in the basement. Other people have a storage container buried outside their house in the ground, and a service can come and pump it out of the buried tank, or they can pump it out of a basement tank.
Yeah, most of them have it outside under the ground, or they have a tank where the tube goes through the wall, and then somebody doesn't have to go into the house to pump it. It goes just like an oil tank with the reverse, and they hook onto it and they pump it out, and then they take it away and bring it pasteurized and give it to the farmer. the tanks that people install have a sensor inside, and it automatically gives a signal to the hauler and to the homeowner that it's time to pump out within a certain amount of weeks. So it's usually set at 70%, so that's a safety feature basically, so that
The tank does not get
overflow.
overflow.
Yes, so
Okay.
that is a requirement to always have a sensor in there.
You asked earlier how much these systems cost. The urine diversion technology developed by the Rich Earth Institute is estimated to cost only about 20% of the cost of removing nitrogen with a sewer, the same
10%.
amount.
10%.
Depends how it's done. If it's a very simple system, it's 10%. If it's more complex, it might cost 20. No one knows because they haven't done it on a big scale yet. Falmouth is going to do tests in 25 homes of urine diverting toilets to measure everything to find out the real costs.
But the cost that you're mentioning does not include the water savings. So if you pay less for water, then that will be a saving that's not included. If there's fertilizer made and the person who sells the fertilizer, that is not included. So if you include all the costs, it might cost nothing compared to sewer, because you're retrieving, you're saving water and you're making fertilizer, which then of course can be sold, and it creates new businesses.
So we are recycling
Yes.
needed nutrients
Yes.
from our body back into the soil.
Yes, enriching the soil and then
Yes.
growing food or other agricultural products with it. And that's how nature intended it.
Okay. Now, shall we tour the outside?
Yeah, I would love to show you how we grow our food, because ultimately, to complete the cycle, you do grow food with the nutrients that you excreted. So we want to show you that.
Thank you. Let's go. Wow, what is lining the wall?
We have a lot of food in the garden, and we try to grow most of our food. Most of the vegetables, and as well as some protein. But here's the leftover from last year. We have used maybe 150 jars of food already. We can, we pressure can, we dehydrate, and we freeze our food. So here is, and we store food. Like here's the leftover of the butternut squash. We are finished with our garlics and we are finished with our onions. But the new onions and the new garlics are just coming in. So we have basically had food the whole year around. Here are beans, so the beans are just coming in, so we can start canning those, tomatoes, pickles, and then we dehydrate as well. And here's the dehydrated food, zucchini chips. We have tomato chips. This is sweet peppers. We have fruit from the trees. So here are the pears. Yeah, we try to grow, and this, of course, this is pickled beets. Here is grape juice. And when we go outside, we'll see the grapes growing. They all come, that's where we make our grape juice. So when we make dinner, I go downstairs and see, well, let's have that, and let's have that, and what's growing in the greenhouse, because we have winter food in the greenhouse, and
You use it all.
Oh yeah, we do. And we give it away to for gifts.
What gorgeous flowers.
We love our flowers. So these are good for hummingbirds. These are good for hummingbirds and butterflies. These two. So we try to attract a lot of the beneficials right in here.
And it's absolutely gorgeous.
And then, of course, we don't want to lose those flowers.
No.
Because they're so great, and they get better and better as the season goes on.
All right, but then winter comes, so they come in here.
Yes,
what is
absolutely.
this?
That is the ark, and it's a solar greenhouse. And these flowers love it in here.
I can imagine. So actually the flowers are snowbirds.
Exactly.
They come into the ark for the winter, and then they come home to the Cape for the summer.
That's right. And in the wintertime, even in the midwinter, it can be 80 degrees in here. If there's sun, it can go to 80, 85 degrees, and it's a wonderful place to have our meetings and dinners with people, and it's wonderful.
And no heat bill.
No solar, no, only solar. We don't use any fossil fuels here.
Fantastic. Earle, what are those huge tanks behind you?
This is a solar heated greenhouse, and the way it works is the sunlight heats the water in these tanks. The water gets warm in the day, and then at night the heat comes out of the tanks into the air and keeps the greenhouse from freezing at night. But also in these tanks are edible fish, and these tanks were used to learn how to grow tilapia, the most common edible fish grown commercially now in the world. And New Alchemy Institute, who built this greenhouse and invented these tanks, introduced tilapia to the United States to use for aquaculture, and now it's used over the whole world.
And the plants on the top?
The plants on the top make the water cleaner for the fish. Each plant, it's a water hyacinth, and it floats, but underneath it are roots that are in the ground, in the water, and they suck up the waste nutrients from the water and make it better for the fish.
And I'll bet the fish enjoy hiding in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the fish, we buy the food for the fish. We grow the fish for food. But the fish also, like us, excrete. Same thing as people, they excrete most except for what they need for the body and for growth. And that those excrete materials, the waste, are the nutrients that we fed them, same as with people. So all the nutrients in the water are taken up by the hyacinths, and the water also gets enriched with the nutrients, and then we use the water to fertilize all the plants that are in the greenhouse in the winter time. So here's another cycle of nutrients. We buy the nutrients, but we will hold on to it and use them, and we use them, and we use them over and over. And the hyacinths that we grow right now, they are excellent for fish, for chickens, because they're high in protein. So when we still had chickens, which we'll soon have again, we fed them to the chickens, and they love to eat all the leaves.
Wow.
And then the roots become compost, and they scratch them up, and then we have the compost from the roots and from the chicken manure.
Totally recycling.
Yeah, everything
Now,
gets recycled here.
What is that white box over there?
We did a survey of all of the urine diversion fixtures that are available, and we found that the idea of having a urinal in a house was very attractive to men who prefer to use urinals. And everywhere a man goes in society, in the public, there are urinals, but not to home. So we invented this in-wall urinal. It's flat on the wall, and it has a door that opens, and the men use it, the door closes, and the urine goes out a tube into a buried tank in the yard outside. And it's very inexpensive, and if every house on Cape Cod had a urinal in their bathroom, 50% of the nitrogen would be diverted by all the 50% of the men, and it would be enough to solve most of the wastewater problems on the Cape.
Yeah, and there was a survey done too on the use of urinals in homes, and most people, most women especially, did not want them because they're big, they stick out, and often they still splash and they smell. And so most people said, no, you can have them in a public place, but not in my house. So we designed this where it was not, the aesthetics were good because you didn't see it, wouldn't take any space, and we guarantee there's no smell because we have tried it for 2 years, and it has been engineered by product engineers to make sure that all the surfaces were perfect for cleaning and for everything.
And I'm going to mention one more thing. You invented this, which is fabulous.
Yes, this idea is not available anywhere in the world at the moment.
Yeah, and we want to produce it now. It's ready to go into the factory and have it available at the least cost for the most people. That's our big goal, because then we could solve a lot of our wastewater problems and save water and recycle the nutrients.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, onward to the garden.
Yes.
How gorgeous. And now I'm hungry.
Yeah, we grow a lot of food.
Okay, there are like troughs and raised beds, and so what do we have here?
Wow.
The way we do gardening is the way the Chinese developed gardening over 6,000 years. They learned how to grow the most food in the smallest space. And the way it's done is the vegetables are planted on the top of beds. that are very densely planted, and they're in between the beds are the pathways, minimal pathways to move around. In our system, in the pathways, we put shredded leaves and waste plants and materials to make compost. So we make composts in the pathways all summer long. And by the end of the season, we will dig out that compost and put it on the top of an empty bed for the next year. So you get the richest soil on the top of the beds every year.
Yeah, and the nice thing too is that because we put all that stuff on, we never have any weeds in the pathway. So we make and compost, and we have no weeds, and it also stays moist because all that compost holds the moisture. So we need less water for the plants. And if any of the compost actually breaks down, then the plants will send their roots there.
I'm impressed.
It's fun. This is where we spend our evening hours.
We have two other kinds of recycling we do here. Our kitchen scraps we will bury in the pathway 6 inches deep, and they decompose and they become compost for the plants in the pathway. Also, if we take a plant out of the garden that's finished and we break the leaves off, we put the leaves on the pathway and they become compost. So you recycle all of those nutrients back to the plants really simply.
Also, very important because we have been talking about urine diversion, we fertilize only with urine. And I would like to show you how simple it is. Here's a bucket, watering can, and it has 1/5 urine and the rest is all water. And all I do is put some on the bottom, and that's it. And I'll do it again. And that's how it goes. That's all we do in this garden for every plant.
And Earle, as we walk on to our next stop, which I think I see adult Lincoln logs way over there. But you told a story of the gentleman in Falmouth that had beautiful flowers in the front of his property, and he won an award.
Yes.
And when they asked, how did he make them so beautiful?
Yes, our friend had prize-winning flowers in his garden.
In front of the garden.
And
at the
the
street.
garden club would come and look at him and say they were wonderful. And they asked how he did it. And he used urine as fertilizer for his flowers.
But he couldn't tell them.
He didn't tell them because he didn't know how they would feel about it. But they had the best flowers.
Yes.
Okay, our next stop.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute, another tank.
This is an aquaculture tank, and it's being used to test the idea of growing small edible fish instead of large edible fish, because you can grow them quicker. Instead of waiting a year for a large fish, you can grow a small fish in less time. And it's the way it's done in Portugal. In Portugal, people eat small fish routinely. And the person doing these research tests came from Portugal, and he wants to try that in the United States.
They're called sardinos.
I was just going to say, well, sardines one of the fish because
Yes,
they're small.
Yep.
Wow, another garden. How many gardens do you people have?
We have 3 gardens, and that one is the big one with all the berries and asparagus and food that really grow for storage.
Okay, and now the adult Lincoln logs.
Yes.
Okay, Earle.
This is the way that we make compost from larger material that we won't put in the garden. They're made out of logs, black locust tree logs. Black locust is a tree that grows on Cape Cod, and it's extremely durable. A piece of locust wood will last 50 years without decomposing. So we make our compost boxes out of mostly black locust logs. We stack them up like Lincoln logs, and we put compost material in the top. And then we don't do anything else. But over a period of a couple years, the material in the box slowly decomposes and falls to the bottom, and that by the time it gets to the bottom, it's composted, and we scoop it out with a shovel, and we put it in containers, and we use it as compost in our garden.
Now, are any nails, or how does this all?
The compost boxes are made simply by stacking the logs end to end, like Lincoln logs. And if you have all of the parts ready, you can make one of these boxes in 5 minutes.
No, it's less than that. We did a YouTube and it showed it was less than 3 minutes. So go to the YouTube and you'll see how to do it, and it's a really fun YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really
I'm
fun.
impressed. I'm impressed. Well,
And that's the compost is right there.
yep.
And
One of the important parts of this is you don't have to do any work. You simply wait. You don't have to stir it. You don't have to turn it. You don't have to take the box apart to get at it. You do nothing. You just wait and scoop out the finished compost at the bottom.
and when we started the season, they were full. And we have kept adding to it, and it's still full. That's because it slowly decomposes. So you see a lot of new material on the top, but that has been going on the whole year, and it slowly decomposes and settles in.
I like that project that I don't have to do anything once I build it
And once,
in 3 minutes.
yep, or less.
Okay.
And there's
What's
the compost.
yeah?
Buckets are waiting for us for the new plant.
Wow! Look at the gorgeous grapes.
These are actually kiwis. They're a northern variety of kiwi. And they taste like a kiwi, they look like a kiwi, they're smaller, they do not get fuzz on them, but they are inside they taste exactly like a kiwi. They will grow in the north here in New England. You harvest them late in the fall.
Wow! And I love kiwi.
Come back. I'll invite you when they're ready.
I'm going to take you up on that. Earle, what's all the bamboo for?
We grow bamboo to use for fences, arbors, poles, posts, trellises, plant labels in our garden. We use the structural part of bamboo for many purposes. And we grow the bamboo here, and we harvest shoots, edible shoots in the spring, and the poles we use year-round in our gardens.
And I see a sample of a fence there. Looks beautiful. Very natural.
Yep.
Hilda,
And it bends a little bit, so no nails, nothing.
and you get air through it too, which is great. I see a pathway and a doorway.
you have-
What is that?
Yeah. Oh, this is our favorite room. It's our meditation room. And we have meetings in here, we have parties in here. Kids love to be in here. They play around. And our grandkids have had their tents in here so that they felt like they were in their own little private place.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe this.
Can you believe that one of those stems grows in 1 month from the ground all the way up?
No.
The highest one even is 1 month.
Wow.
They grow extremely fast. They're very strong and very flexible.
And you have use for them with the fences and everything else you just told us about.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
We harvest the poles for our gardens.
Fantastic. I cannot thank you both enough for allowing Dilemma to come here. This has been mind-boggling, mind-exploring, so educational. And I just, there's more to see, so if we can, we'll come back.
You're very
And-
welcome to come back anytime.
Good, that's very nice to hear, because we've taken up a lot of your time. Anyway, the Green Center is nonprofit, and the Green Center actually is the house we were in where you live. And there are many other things, that's why we need to come back. You have made it what I call a self-sufficient home using the eco toilet, solar, etc. And I think perhaps another visit to showcase all of that, more on your gardening techniques, the audience would absolutely love. If you'd like to share maybe a website
We
with
can
our
share the
audience.
website. We also give tours regularly. And if people want to have a group of their friends to a tour, just contact us, because it's really nice if people organize their own tour. Sometimes we put it in a newspaper at a certain date. But yeah, we do give tours regularly so people can learn about nutrient cycling solar, gardening, and how they all interconnect
And that's
to make
fantastic.
a more environmentally sustainable
And
world.
what I'd recommend is anyone considering building a new home from ground up, what is here is cost effective, saves energy, protects the environment, and just puts the whole package together, working hand in hand with Mother Nature. So it's the Green Center.
Yep. An educational and research institute. Yep.
Yes, and if you want more information, we will put that up on our screen. Contact them and learn.
Yeah. Hope to see you here.
Thank you,
Thank you.
audience,
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
Hilda and Earle.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.